from the University of Washington College of the Environment. This is FieldSound.
Hello everyone, this is Haskelle again. This is AGU Day 4, and today I'm with Sarah Doherty, a senior research scientist in the Atmospheric Sciences Department, and today we'll be interviewing her about some of the work she's done and her overall experience at AGU. So without further ado, tell me about your recent project here.
Yeah, so we're working on studying how particulate pollution affects sunlight reflection by clouds. And so this is something that's happening in the climate system right now. It's an effect that's offsetting about a quarter of climate warming from greenhouse gases. And so our observations of that happening in the atmosphere have triggered the idea of whether you could possibly do that intentionally if the climate system warms up to too dangerous of a level. And instead of doing it with pollution, we would be doing it with sea salt aerosols from the ocean, specifically targeting brightening low clouds over the ocean.
That's incredible. Do you have a direct path to how this work can potentially help the community, local or globally? Because climate change and these issues are definitely prevalent.
Yeah. So the idea with marine cloud brightening is it's not a solution to the climate problem, right, but it's a way of addressing sort of the pathway through which climate impacts are mostly felt, which is through having too much energy in the climate system, too much heat. So with marine cloud brightening, the idea is that you'd be reducing the amount of heat in the climate system by increasing sunlight reflection, so reducing the amount of energy that comes into the Earth system. So the pathway to helping address the climate problem is reducing heat in the climate system. And, we're not advocating for doing this. What we're doing is trying to research whether it's even something that feasibly could be done. Could you predictably and reliably brighten low marine clouds at a scale that would actually cool climate? And if you did it, where could you do it and by how much? And if you then did that, like brighten clouds in specific regions, how would that affect climate risks? What would be the risks of doing this in terms of the climate patterns that would result? What would be the benefits? So that we can provide that information to decision makers and they can decide in the future if we're really hitting dangerous levels of climate warming. Would this be something that you could use to try and mitigate those risks while we're bringing greenhouse gases down to safer levels?
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So this would be really beneficial for policymakers, the IPCC?
Yeah, groups like IPCC, other decision-making bodies that would really, for deciding to use things like marine cloud brightening, which are climate interventions, not mitigation, there'd really need to be a pretty robust decision process that would involve, a global conversation. Because if you did this at a scale that would cool climate anywhere in the world, it would probably have effects everywhere in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're really just trying to provide the information to policymakers to help in those discussions. That would need to also include considerations around ethics and international law and all kinds of other policy aspects. Yeah.
Incredible. So how is your AGU experience? Have you been presenting this work? Have you been networking around with this information?
Yes and yes. We have a pretty big team of people working on the program now at University of Washington and also collaborators at a bunch of institutions. And they've been presenting the work here, much of it in just the sessions that are about climate science in general, about how particles affect clouds in general. And so it's always exciting to get to come to AGU because there's such a huge community of people working on this that we can learn from and talk with and network with. And we're starting, always have conversations where we end up setting up new collaborations. Yeah,
and I guess my last question on the topic of collaborations, can students be involved with your projects and your work?
Yes, we have actually a bunch of students working on our project. As graduate students in particular are doing a lot of modeling work on the program. So it's a very integrated part of, in particular, the Atmospheric Science Department. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for the interview today. I really appreciate it, and best of luck with your future endeavors. And I really hope that this work can be meaningful and continue to help improve the climate situation.